Hello and welcome back to another video. So in this one, I'm going to talk about writing because I've done an awful lot of writing over the last year, and I wanted to reflect on it. So where to begin? So I joined a writers club. Towards the end of the year, I started a blog, which I haven't really done much with, but I'm hoping to use that more as an outlet in 2026. And I also put a review up for every single one of the 111 films that I logged on Letterboxd last year. So I'm planning to explore more on the movie side in another video. But for now, I want to look more into, I suppose, my approach with reviews, my approach with private writing and drafting, and also, yeah, my experience with the Writers Circle more broadly. So where to begin? Where to begin? So let's have a look at yeah, you know what? Let's look at my drafts. Let's kick things off with my drafts because I've got an awful lot of drafts, and towards the end of 24, leading into 25, I managed to get a little bit more organized with my files and folders and my approach to I'm aware that the lights just come on because I've got my Word document up here. Um, my files and folders. So that then allowed me to, if I wanted to draft up a Word document or another file, I could save it, store it, whether I'm doing it at home or going out to the library or wherever. I could then access it wherever I might want to. So let's just dive right in because I've got so many drafts, and habit I often developed over the year was I would come up with an idea. I think, oh, this is the best idea ever. Jump into Word, and I thought, oh, here's the name of the thing. Gonna jump in. We're gonna start drafting, and then and then I might put a bit of time into it. Then I'll drop it and move on. So yeah, let's see what I've saved. Let's see what I've saved. Number one for 2025. That is apparently the earliest thing I've saved is a file called 25 before 2025. Video games that have helped shape my worldview since the year 2000. So just saying off the cuff, that is something I'd love to revisit. I've got video games being a huge part of my life. I've got so many games that have made an impact on me, and I'd come up with a cool concept there for something I could draft, whether that be on YouTube or on a blog. So that might be something I revisit this year. Moving on to the next file name, I've come up with another one: The Chronicles of Lewis Williams, Hopes, Dreams, and Copious Memes. So yeah, maybe I was thinking something along the lines of chronicling, yeah, more of my thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and the various memes that have blessed me throughout my life. Next one is called Project Waterfield. So that's this top secret project, sci-fi project. I came up with an idea. It must have been late spring, in the summer, for this amazing sci-fi world that I'd love to expand on and revisit. I stumbled into some problems with the structure because I thought, or maybe if I try and write some like satirical black comedy kind of slapstick, maybe not slapstick but more surrealist humor, and then I was like, the more I do that, the more I think, oh no, I want it to be hyper serious, hyper, you know, almost like Blade Runner-y. Like I was fixated on Blade Runner because I think I just watched Blade Runner amongst other films, and I thought, oh. So anyway, I've got a project idea in my head, and I've got enough out of my system where I'm comfortable. I could go to the end of my life, not revisit the project, and I'd be comfortable. I think it's like a 4,000 word document out of my system, and that was quite fun to write. And yeah, it's still an idea that lingers, and I might revisit it in the future. What else we got here? So the next one was My Life with Music. So yeah, My Life with Music. I mean, that it's no wonder I'd probably drop that because the size of that document would be massive. I mean, I feel like I've just had literally thousands of songs that have made a huge impact on me, and trying to reverse engineer and unpack all of the songs that I think might have impacted me in my life. It's just a monstrous task. But maybe this year, maybe I'll find a way to revisit that one. Okay, what else we got here? Project 50/50. That is just a very vaguely named very vaguely named project with nothing in it. So yeah, maybe we have a think about what that was about. What else have we got? Probably finance related, Project 50/50. Okay, so let's see what's in the next folder. So starting from June, so yeah, I've got so many more files here. Right, I'm just going to have to probably try and skip through all of these and just try and go heading. It looks like in July I revisited 20 before 2020, multimedia that has shaped my sense of self. So, okay, so probably I've pivoted there from games, and it's kind of what I want to do with this channel is if I'm going to upload things, it won't necessarily just be about games, because the truth is I'm impacted by music, television and film, you know, in various amounts as well, and actually they've all played their role in kind of shaping who I am and what my interests are. So yeah, some work hopefully to explore the multimedia across all of those corners this year. That would be fun to get back into. The next one's called Let's Get Funny. Who knows what was in that. Next one after that was leveling up my political understanding. Yeah, I had a little patch there in the middle of the year, it seems, where I wanted to try and... Actually, I remember I was on YouTube and I was subscribing to the House of Lords and the House of Commons, and I was trying to understand how the politics in this country works. And then I just got exhausted and switched it all off. My life with work is the next file. Self-explanatory, really. A bit of an exploration of all my times in different jobs. Next one was my relationship with video games, revised and expanded. I mean, that would be my magnum opus, to be honest, if I could articulate and explore my relationship with video games going back to probably at this point 30 years, going back to Duke Nukem 3D, but also prior to that I must have been playing some child-friendly games as well. So yeah, I've played at this point hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, and there's a whole big long piece of work that I could do on that to try and unpack that, and I would have fun doing that. July 2025, next one. It's a Destiny 2 related file, the Desert Perpetual Raid Race. So there was a race amongst competitive players for this piece of content in Destiny 2 back in the summer that I found to be fascinating, and yeah, I've sort of secretly over the last year or two rediscovered my appreciation for like watching live streams. So I'll dive into a stream for a game or a person that's covering a game and just like have them on as a background sometimes as well. So that was fun. July also, we've got the welcome to the Discord for a Discord scripting kind of planning idea I had that I've now materialized into a Discord server. I'm having a lot of fun with that. The next file, 25 time to get hip hop. Probably me looking into my sort of hip hop influence as a kid. There was a lot of R&B, rap, hip hop that I just used to. I always smile when I think about it because it's sort of maybe not entirely in line with my kind of outward public persona that I push out of myself, but there's a lot of like hip hop going on behind the eyes if we dig far enough. So yeah, probably re-exploring all of my kind of hip hop appreciation from when I was younger. That's probably something I'd enjoy revisiting. Okay, August. We're up to August. I've called it Louis V. Williams, Bigger, Angrier, and Uncut. So that seems to be my play on words for the what's that South Park film? Bigger, Better, and Uncut, something like that. So yeah, that's I've written it in all caps. So maybe I had a bit of an angry rant into that one. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, next one. A bit of history. We could just rattle through several in a row now. So we'll do a bit of history. Who knows what that was about? Alone in the Void. Ooh, Alone in the Void. Next one is Been Trying to Decide. And the next one is Concepts, Plans, Hopes and Dreams. Interesting. Still in August. First person shooters. So that's probably me trying to go, right, well, instead of writing and speaking and thinking about video games, Lewis, how about just focusing on first person shooters, which is probably the genre that has impacted me the most, um, and that I've played the most of. So yeah, that's me trying to write about first person shooters. The next one, Good Days and Good Nights. That's an interesting title. The next one after that, I Am a Digital Zombie. Yes, I am, absolutely. No getting away from it. The next one, I Am No God. Oh, interesting. The next one, I Masquerade. Ooh. Next one, still in August, I'm Going Extinct. Wow. God, I was having a bit of a trip here in August. I've got so many. Music Parody is another one. August again, My Fellow Gamers. It's probably me trying to draft an intro thing to my Discord. My multimedia profiles. That's me trying to get all of my profiles together in one space across all of the different multimedia websites that I've signed up to. What we got here? Middle of September. Still, the Taken King 10th anniversary. So that's Destiny related. That's me being excited and appreciating the 10th anniversary of Destiny's The Taken King expansion, one that is very near and dear to my heart. So after that, we've got comedy scripting. Interesting. Back to comedy. I've always had a little idea that maybe I could write some good comedy, but that's, you know, like a lot of these, 99% of these other drafts, it's never really gone anywhere. What else we got in here? Halo ODST on Reflection. So it's a Halo reflective piece I did in September. We've got a 16th anniversary there. Next piece of writing was called The Next Phase. Wonder what that means. I did another Halo reflective piece for Halo 3 on Reflection 18th anniversary. Interesting. I remember writing that. That was a lot of fun. Because the other aspect to when you pick something specific, this is something I've realised within myself, is if I get a topic or a theme that I know I'm interested in. So if you say, Lewis, go and do a write-up about Halo 3 for me, I'm going to literally drop everything I'm doing. I'm going to go, yes, I'm going to go research Halo 3, and I'm going to do a whole research project on it, and I'm going to enjoy the process of learning about the game and when it was out and what our culture was like around then. So yeah, I remember having a lot of fun writing about those, because it's the research as well when it comes to writing. That's something I've realised over the last year. You know, I enjoy the research aspect of all this writing. It's when it's research oriented just as much as writing itself. So that's quite interesting. 25 September 28th. If I died tonight, a life lived honest and true. Wow. Yeah, so that's quite a deep title. So for me, well, that's something I still believe now, you know, a few months on. You know, I like to think I've lived an honest life, you know, and I can die in peace if I died in my sleep tonight. So that's something that I used as a topic there. September still, the purpose of man. The purpose of man. Interesting. Wonder what I was going for with that. Okay, so moving into October. Farewell, my love. This was aimed at my previous employer, so that was an interesting thing to write. VIP, WIP, VIP Whip. Oh, I remember what that was about. So I've long also held this idea that maybe, well, ever since it was mentioned to me a few times in some old jobs that like I have a voice for radio, and I think that's probably partly why I'm doing these YouTube videos as well, so I can kind of listen back to myself and see how I'd feel about talking, and just see if there's, like, I don't know, maybe there's a radio talk show host in me somewhere. I don't know, maybe. So I've done a bit of writing there, it seems, on that. Next one, so long, farewell, until we meet again. That's probably also to do with previous job. To-do list, project management, that's just self-explanatory. Things are strange. Every tier you take. Oh yes, I was doing this is in up to November now. I was doing a Stranger Things rewatch, and yeah, I was just trying to. It's getting a bit emotional and doing a bit of writing around that. So that was cool. I should track that on my blog actually. It went off on a bit of an odd tangent though. It's not really, it wasn't really Stranger Thingsy in the end. That one. Um, Still in November. My Time with Destiny, Dear Warlock Mine. So it's me trying to say thank you to the avatar that I was playing with in Destiny. And we've got Things Are Strange, Every Tier You Take Part 2. So I then was still going through, I think I spent like a week doing a full catch-up rewatch of Stranger Things in anticipation for Season 5. And I did some more writing there, and then I've done Things Are Strange 3, The Magic Number. So I then I was in this kind of bizarre headspace where I was blending thoughts about Stranger Things with Destiny. Yeah, so some odd things I've thrown up on my Medium page for that. But yeah, we'll see whether I revisit Stranger Things or Destiny with writing in the future. Still in November, so happy 20th Xbox 360. Yes, so the Xbox 360, one of my favourite game consoles, turned 20 in November of last year. So that was, I've got 20 of my favourite games, Volume 1. So yeah, I was trying to create a piece around my favourite games. Turns out I've got a lot of favourite games on 360. I've got a lot more than 20. I think I was like struggling to get it below 30, 35. So it was, yeah, a bit of a mammoth piece of work that I ended up writing. But I'm happy for that to sit in drafts for now. Okay, December, I've got post the Game Awards clarity. So I had a good time watching the Game Awards, and yeah, it's something I've started to do over the last few years. Never live, unfortunately, because of the time that it's on. But it's nice to check the next day, go through all the trailers that have come out, and just try and like relive all of the experiences that were being shown at the Game Awards. It's just something I've enjoyed doing. So I try to like chuck my thoughts on the trailers I was seeing into a piece of work. Still in December, cool games with snow. Yeah, so I then pivoted into thinking about games that have snow in it, of which, by the way, there's a lot. Games that I'd played with snow in it, and then turning it into videos for my parallel channel to this, my gaming channel, which I managed to upload. I had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, some of the snow, some of the soundscapes blended with the snow in some of the games that are out there, just phenomenal. So that was fun. And then we got video game stories and me 2025 edition. So I was writing that on the last day of the year. That's like literally a week ago. So, yeah. So I think that was me wrapping up. I think I remember now I was starting a piece on reflecting on the games I'd played throughout last year. So that'll be we'll cover that in a separate video. So yeah, that's all my drafts this year. I mean, looks like I started saving drafts on there around sort of March, April time. But I've had a lot of fun writing this year. Like I feel blessed to be able to like enjoy it and have it as an outlet, you know, like literally this laptop all year for the last year, whether I'm in the library, whether I'm here, whether I'm, you know, out and about, whip on a soundscape, headphones or music or whatever, and just think of a topic or something I want to write about and throw it in. It's a nice kind of thing to just kind of write things out of your system as well. So I've had a lot of fun doing that and just exploring, you know, subjects that I find interesting really. So that's been a lot of fun. As I said, I've got a blog which I can link in the thing. I've written on Letterboxd, serialized for TV as well. Yeah, if you stumble onto my Letterboxd, I mean the disclaimer there is that none of the things I really write on Letterboxd are what I would call film reviews. It's more like I try and do it as like a stream of consciousness. Again, I will literally switch off the film, find a soundscape that kind of matches the film, and then just write whatever comes to mind and try to be like as free with writing in that moment as I can, just as an experiment. So there's there's a few things I've written throughout the year, and some of the reviews where I think, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I quite like that. Some of it's quite bizarre, and like especially earlier in the year, there was some like quite angry, frustrated kind of aspects to the writing. I remember as well, I was getting frustrated with the TV, so that's another aspect I have to own up to. There was, particularly in the first half of last year, there was a lot of my writing going up on Letterboxd that was quite I was just quite frustrated with some aspects, and turns out it was my TV ruining my movie and my entertainment experience. So I've now fixed that and got myself a new TV. But yeah, joining a writers group. The other thing as well with that is, it's been nice. It's obviously the social aspect, the networking aspect, and being able to like bounce ideas off people and kind of see what other people's journeys are as well. For all intents and purposes, I'm not a career writer. I'm not an established writer. It's never really been something I've done prior to the start of 25. You know, notoriously, I probably write the longest WhatsApp messages on occasion, and I'd be quite happy to do that. But I'd never really, sit down like this and actually have Word document, come up with a thing I want to write about and just write it, save it, and not even necessarily share it. Just like everything we've just listed, just things just sit in drafts, and I'm quite happy with that because it means it's out of my head and it's down somewhere, and I've enjoyed the process of kind of putting it onto paper. I have done some like pen and paper writing this year, but I must admit I do keep gravitating back towards the digital side of writing. I'm quite comfortable with keyboard, kind of growing up with keyboards and mice. Like I'm quite happy doing it on here, especially over a phone. I can't ever enjoy like writing on a phone anymore as much since, at least since. I mean, in terms of like a structured sense, I still text on my phone and I write really long text sometimes, but I don't know. There's something nice about the mechanical aspect to a keyboard that I just prefer over a touchscreen. Pen and paper is fine, but it's and it's nice. I've made the effort as well to do some pen and paper work, but I do keep coming back to keyboard and digital writing, to be honest. But yeah, it's just a share of what's on my PC, what's kind of where I've been going with writing. I don't know where I'm going to go with it ultimately. I don't know where I'm going to head this year. I don't know if I will draft as much stuff in my Word documents this year. Who knows? I'll just try and see where my thoughts take me. But the thing that planted the seed with this, the thing that had been carrying with me for years before I joined the Writers Circle and started actually drafting out some things was, so in 2006 when I was 14 in school, I earned a poetry award, gifted in poetry. And I can't remember what the poem was, and I haven't really tried to like contact the school and see if I can figure out what the poem was. I imagine it's not on record anymore. But yeah, I think knowing that, and I've always made an effort to keep it on my CV, so knowing that maybe I'm gifted in poetry has had me trying to explore a bit more poetry this year. And there are some poems I've done this year and shared with the group that I'm quite happy with, but I think I just really enjoy the kind of deep dive research based, analysis based kind of writing, more long form over the short form. But obviously the long form writing, it takes time. It takes a lot more time. Yeah, who knows where I'll go with writing this year. Certainly, I'm glad it's, you know, it's another arrow in my quiver that I feel like I can draw on when I need a certain outlet to cover a certain subject. So it's something that, yeah, we'll just leave the book open and see where it takes me in 2026. So yeah, with that being said, that probably wraps up this video. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun kind of just rambling on about me and writing, and as I said, we'll see where 2026 takes me with writing, and until then, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.